What's going on, everybody? This is Loans coming back at you today with another Madden 17 video. And today's video is probably going to be my last Madden rebuild until Madden 18 comes out. It comes out here in a few weeks. So I've already pre-ordered the game, and as soon as I get it, I'll be probably starting out with a rebuild on Madden 18 as well. So today we're going to be rebuilding the Colts, who are surprisingly one of the worst teams in the league right now. They went from being pretty good a few years ago to just crap now. But what we're going to try and do is build this around Andrew Luck and see if he can win a Super Bowl, maybe an MVP. He's missing a few key pieces on offense that is kind of keeping him from being elite, but he's really pretty close. I think if we get a new running back, Frank Gore's pretty old, probably get rid of him. Maybe a tight end, and probably another receiver. Maybe the right side of the line, work on that. That's not looking too hot. The left side and center are looking okay. But then the offense would be really, really good if we did that. On defense, pretty much need a whole new defense. The only bright spots are Vontae Davis and Malik Hooker. The rest of them are just not very good, pretty mediocre. I don't think we're going to make any moves before we get going with the simulation. I think we'll just simulate right to the end of the year and get started with the off season. And this is exactly what we wanted. We didn't make the playoffs in the first year. We've got some guys that regressed, so I'm assuming we did pretty bad. We did 5-11, so not great, not terrible. Oh, actually, yeah, it's pretty bad. So it looks like the Packers were the best team in the league, and the Redskins were the worst. That's kind of surprising. Looks like we should have the 5th pick, so that'll be a good pick. Check out the stats here really quick. Surprisingly enough, we're 31st in offensive yards. Defensive yards, we have no ranking apparently. We were 32nd in points scored with 298, and 31st in points allowed with 485. But we were overall a pretty terrible team. Andrew Luck went for 3,900 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, was sacked 55 times. That is way too many. Frank Gore did not do very well. 240 attempts, 951 yards, only 6 touchdowns. Andrew Luck actually had 302 yards with 2 touchdowns, and Robert Turbin had 102 yards, so he didn't do very well, but with 5 touchdowns, so only one behind Frank Gore. The receiving end, Kamar Aiken led the team with 83 receptions. T.Y. Hilton was right behind him with 81. And it looks like both of those guys had over 1,000 yards. Kamar Aiken with 1,200, T.Y. Hilton with 1,150. But Dante Moncrief did not do very well, only 627 yards for 3 touchdowns. Kamar Aiken led the team with 8 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton was the next closest with 4. And then just a few guys with a few of them all the way down. On defense, Antonio Morrison led with 150 tackles. Clayton Gathers, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, with 119. John Simon with 110. So just a few guys getting a lot of tackles there. Henry Anderson with 11 tackles for loss. And we did have a guy with double-digit sacks, John Simon, with 13.5. So he actually had a pretty good year. He also had 2 interceptions. The next closest was Kendall Langford with 9. And we did not get very many turnovers at all. 2 interceptions for John Simon was leading the team. Darius Butler with 1 and Sean Spence with 1. Now we'll check fumbles really quick. Kendall Langford led with 3. He also recovered 3. And then Antonio Morrison with 2, and a few guys after that with 1. And Adam Vinatieri, as expected, was pretty good. Only missed 2 kicks on the year. Made all of his extra points. The 2 kicks that he missed were over 50 yards, so that's excusable. I'm not really going to bother going over awards too much. I saw Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. Yeah, Dak Prescott came in second, so I'm assuming Dak Prescott won Rookie of the Year as well. We didn't really have anybody on the team that was worthy of possibly even getting an award. Maybe defensive best linebacker, maybe. John Simon, yeah, best linebacker. He had a pretty good year. 13.5 sacks, over 100 tackles. I don't remember exactly how many. So he might be not defensive rookie of the year. Where am I? Antonio Morrison was defensive rookie of the year. Maybe I should go over these awards. I was not expecting that. Defensive player of the year was Khalil Mack. John Simon came in 7th. And the New England Patriots beat the Dallas Cowboys 49-37. So Tom Brady, who did retire like he always does, going out on top, winning the Super Bowl. We are moving on to free agency, and just like the rest of the first years, I doubt there's going to be anyone that's even worth signing. Yeah, there's nobody that I'm really interested in signing. We don't have a kicker, so I am going to sign a kicker, and that'll probably be it for free agency. So it wasn't a very exciting offseason. The only thing we really did was sign a kicker, Matt Prater. We're going to go ahead and run through the draft here and hope we get someone good. There's a really good linebacker that I would like to get, but I have a feeling like he's going to be off the board once we get to him with the 5th pick. But there's some really good options. There's some other corners and stuff that a strong safety that could all be really good. So I think we're going to go ahead and take the strong safety, Zach Staten, the linebacker, and the cornerback that I both wanted were off the board. The Browns took the linebacker that I wanted with the 3rd pick, and the 49ers took the cornerback that I wanted with the 4th pick. So this was my next guy on the board that I really wanted. So hopefully he's good. And I kind of reached a little bit. 76 overall, 12th in true talent. We took him at 5th. He's got decent stats. We could up his play rec a little bit, and he would probably be a lot better. Maybe up his pursuit some and his tackling. But not a bad pick. Not really what I was hoping for with the 1st pick, though. 1st round pick. Okay, so this is perfect. The running back that I wanted is still on the board. Eluzis Roper out of Penn State. I believe the last guy I took was out of Penn State as well. He's got an A- juke move, A- carrying, B- ball carrier vision. We'll go ahead and take him. Hopefully this doesn't end up being a terrible draft. I'm going to be upset if it is. Okay, not a bad pick. 77 overall, normal development. He's ranked 11th. We took him at 37th. 91 speed, 91 excel, 90 carrying, 82 ball carrier vision. So he's got some work to do, but I think we'll go ahead and start him over Frank Gore. And with our 3rd round pick, we're going to go ahead and take the outside linebacker out of NC State, CJ Smith. He's got a B+ pursuit, B hit power, B finesse move. And he's a 76 overall quick. He's ranked 26th in true talent. We took him at 69th. So a pretty good pick. Now in the 4th round, we're going to start taking some of these late round linemen that we know are going to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and the left side of the line isn't bad. The right side is kind of what needs work. So we've got a run blocking left tackle. We'll just convert him over to right tackle. Thomas Sinclair out of Louisville. And he's a 73 overall. Not the best pick. I'm hoping the next guy down that's a right tackle will be better than him. He's ranked 44th in true talent. We took him at 101st with the 101st pick. Got decent stats. His impact blocking's a little low. His awareness is pretty low. That's really what's hurting him. And with our next late round lineman, we are going to take Jorge Vasquez out of Duke. That is a run blocking right tackle. First in bench press with 38 reps. That's all we know about him. 6.1 combine grade. Hopefully he's better than the last guy we took. And he's way better. 78 overall, normal development. It's ranked 18th in true talent. We took him at 133rd. So his strength, he's got 90 strength, 89 run block, 77 pass block, 82 impact, and 51 awareness, which we'll get that up really quick, and he's going to be a really good lineman. Overall, we had a pretty good draft. With our first round pick, we took Zach Staten out of Penn State, 76 overall, strong safety. With our second round pick, we drafted a running back, 77 overall. Third round, we grabbed a 76 overall outside linebacker. Then we started with our lineman in the fourth round, 73 overall, 78 overall in the fifth round, which is really good. Glad I picked him. And then a 75 overall in the sixth round, and then our final pick, a 69 overall defensive tackle. So here's the cornerback that I wanted that the 49ers took. He's a 79 overall out of Wisconsin. And he has quick development. He's an 81 with San Francisco. So I missed out on a pretty good cornerback. Hopefully we get some more in the next few years because our cornerbacks are really bad. Here's the linebacker we missed out on, Michael Daniels out of LSU. He's an 81 overall. The Browns took him with the third pick. And he is a superstar. So we missed out on a pretty good player. So at the start of year 2, this is actually kind of funny. I don't think this has ever happened in any of the rebuilds that I've ever done, that I've uploaded to YouTube or that I've even done on my own. The team actually looks worse the second year than it did the first year. Like I said, I don't know if I've ever had that happen before, but it just happened. So we've got our rookie Roper in starting over Frank Gore. Our receiving core didn't change at all. Line regressed a little bit. Costanzo did. Then we have our rookie Vasquez in at right tackle, and none of the other guys really fit in anywhere. I was hoping we would get somebody to replace Schwenke, but none of them really were able to. It was kind of a downgrade, just about every person that I put in there. I might have screwed up by not re-signing a tight end. We now have a 68 overall tight end. On defense, we didn't really get any better. We have worse cornerbacks. Vontae Davis has regressed. Our second cornerback is a 70 overall. The only thing that really improved was our linebacking core. We actually have Jabal Sheard, not starting now, but Stith, our rookie, we have him in there starting, and then Antonio Morrison is a 79 overall now, up from a 72 last year. I believe he was a 72. And then John Simon is now a 79 overall. So the linebacking core got a little better in some spots and maybe a little worse, but more focused towards the future. And then we have our rookie strong safety, Zach Staten, our first round pick in there. And with that said, we will go ahead and advance to the mid-season and see how we're doing. Alright, and at the midway point, this is actually happening. We are worse this year than we were the year before. We are 1-6 on the year, and it is not looking very good at all. I'd be surprised if we finished with 3 wins. We'll check out the stats really quick. We are last in offensive yards. We are 18th in defensive yards, so defense got a little better. We're 30th in points scored and 19th in points allowed. So the defense is getting a little better, but the offense is just terrible. And I'm not really sure how that's happening. Andrew Luck has 1,700 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, and 27 sacks. I gotta figure out why he's getting sacked so much. Rushing, our rookie is not having a good year. 390 yards, 3 touchdowns. Frank Gore has 95 yards for 4 touchdowns. Receiving, T.Y. Hilton is leading with 41 receptions. And he's also leading in yards with 586, only 2 touchdowns, which I'm assuming is also leading the team. It is, and that is pretty sad. As expected, we did not make the playoffs, but we really didn't regress too bad. Might be eating crow here. Okay, so we finished the same record as we did the year before, 5-11. Not bad from a 1-6 start. So we were 21st in offensive yards. We were 23rd in defensive yards, so the second half the defense kind of let down a little bit. 18th in points scored and the offense picked it up, and 32nd in points allowed. So the defense really kind of fell off in the end, but the offense picked it up a little bit, which seems to help a little bit. Andrew Luck had 42, almost 4,300 yards, 26 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, which was pretty good compared to his 6 touchdowns and 9 interceptions he had at the beginning of, or at the midway point, and he had 59 sacks, so he still got sacked a ton. Rushing, our rookie Roper picked it up. I finished with 1,008 yards and 12 touchdowns. Frank Gore had 222 yards with 9 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton had 1,350 yards, 11 touchdowns, 100 receptions. He could be the wide receiver of the year. Kamar Aiken had 1,046 yards, 3 touchdowns. Moncrief had 786 yards with 3 touchdowns as well, and they both had 75 receptions. For blocking, yeah, Costanzo and Vasquez, wow, they both gave up a lot of sacks. 21 for Costanzo, 17 for Vasquez. We'll see how Vasquez does here. He's still a rookie, so I guess that's kind of excusable, but Costanzo, we might need to look to replace him. On defense, Antonio Morrison, 164 tackles, and he also had 3 interceptions, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. He had a really good year. Sean Spence had 100 tackles with 4 interceptions. Wow, Zach Staten had 100 tackles with 4 interceptions as well. It was really good for a rookie, and he had a sack. And John Simon had 96 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 9.5 sacks. Hopefully he didn't. He did. He led with 9.5 sacks. The next closest was Henry Anderson with 5.5, and Kendall Langford with also 5.5. Our rookie linebacker Stith had 4.5 sacks, 96 tackles. Not a terrible year for him. And tackles for loss, Jonathan Hankins had 9 interceptions. Vontae Davis had 5, which is way better than having none last year. We also had Sean Spence with 4, Staten with 4, Morrison with 3, and a bunch of other guys with 1. So we were getting turnovers, which is something we did not do last year. Forced fumbles, Jabal Sheard had 2. Vontae Davis had 1. We had a bunch of other guys with 1 as well. And kicking, our new kicker Matt Prater did not do as well as Adam Vinatieri did the year before. 15 for 21, and he missed an extra point. He had 2 field goals that were blocked, and he only made 3 field goals past 50 yards out of 9. So did he miss 6 total? Yeah, his 6 misses were from 50 plus. And with awards, Aaron Rodgers won MVP again. Le'Veon Bell came in second. Offensive Player of the Year is Le'Veon Bell. Defensive Player of the Year, Brandon Marshall. And we had Antonio Morrison coming in at 7th. Offensive Rookie of the Year was our rookie Eluzis Roper. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Zach Staten, which I kind of thought that was going to be the case. CJ Stith came in at 4th. Best quarterback went to Jimmy G. Best running back went to Le'Veon Bell. Best wide receiver went to Julian Edelman. T.Y. Hilton came in 3rd. Best offensive lineman, I doubt we had anyone in there. I doubt we had any best defensive linemen. Best linebackers went to Brandon Marshall. And Antonio Morrison came in at 6th. Best DB went to Jalen Ramsey. Vontae Davis came in at 5th. And best kicker went to Justin Tucker. So we got some awards there. I wasn't too bad. Some guys came in 2nd, 3rd, 5th, whatever. I think we're getting better. We're more geared towards the future. So we'll just see if our off season here can kind of put us over the edge and put us into the playoff hunt. We actually have a lot of guys to re-sign. Yeah, we got a lot of money to spend here. So I'm going to go ahead and sign Vontae Davis. That's a huge cap hit, so let's give him a couple more years. Maybe a little less money. See if he takes that. It's a pretty big cap hit, but we're hurting at cornerback already and don't really have a choice. Jack Mewhort, we'll go ahead and sign him. He's a pretty good lineman, pretty solid. Antonio Morrison, he has been our star defensive player the last 2 years, so we'll go ahead and lock him up for 7 years and save us a little money here. $3 million with a $1 million signing bonus, and we have him back. We also need Dante Moncrief. We don't really have very many good receivers besides T.Y. Hilton and Dante Moncrief. We'll go ahead and re-sign Schwenke just in case there's nothing else out there. Even though Kamar Aiken's 29, he has had 2,000 plus yard seasons for us. So we'll give him this kind of garbage offer and keep him around. And I think the rest of these guys, we're just going to let them go. There's nobody else I'm really too interested in. We're starting off year 2 free agency. Hopefully it's pretty good. I have a feeling like it's going to be trash though. And it kind of is. There's nobody up here in the best players that I'm interested in. Drew Brees, Thomas Davis Sr., older than dirt, Chris Sims, Quincy Enunwa. The one thing I'm going to do is make sure we sign a tight end. I do not want a 68 overall tight end again this year. Okay, we'll just sign the best overall tight end. He's 30 years old, but we'll sign Lance Kendricks. Nobody's offered him any money. We'll kind of, whoa, way too much. We'll kind of lowball him here. Matt McGloin accepted our offer. Lance Kendricks has yet to accept it. Nobody else had offered him any money, so I'm just going to keep the offer right where it is. We'll advance the week here and see if we get him. We have the 6th pick in this year's draft, and there's a few guys that I have my eye on for this first round pick. Hopefully they don't get taken early like they did last year. There's actually a lot of quarterbacks in this draft, so I don't really think the guys that I'm looking at are going to get taken, but you never know. So the Browns have done it to me again. They had the 5th pick, I have the 6th, and they took the defensive tackle that I was looking at. So right now it's between these two, Barry Grove and Latch. I don't know. Lawton. And I know he's a superstar. I don't know if Barry Grove is or not. I just can't get over the combine. Yeah, I'm going to do it. We need a cornerback. There's other linebackers later in the draft. There's no more cornerbacks. We're going to take him. Okay. Not a bad pick. 79 overall superstar. 87 speed, 89 man, 79 zone, 74 play rec, 91 excel, 91 agility, 83 press, 63 catching. Okay, I feel a lot better about that now. That was a good pick. Just kind of goes to show that even somebody with a crap combine can still end up being a pretty decent player. I hope they fix that in Madden 18 where the combines really kind of matter. The only players that the combine really matters on in this game is linemen, and that's really it. My plan is already starting to unravel a little bit. The defensive tackle, my second choice in defensive tackle, I saw he got taken already. Two guys here, Henry June and Trip Petrus. I did happen to see a negative draft story about Trip. I don't recall seeing anything about Henry June. He had a pretty good combine. Then Petrus, he didn't have a very good combine, but he would also fit into that 3-4 slot. He does have a better top 3 than June, but I know that negative draft story about him is going to knock down his overall quite a bit. So I think we'll go ahead and take Henry June. Oh man, okay, 78 overall, slow. So he's ranked 18th overall, we took him at 38th. That's unfortunate that he's slow. And with our third round pick, I think I'm going to take the middle linebacker out of Georgia Tech, Kerry Beckham. He's got a pretty decent top 3 skills for being a third round pick, and he had a really good combine. Maybe not the fastest, but he's got pretty good agility and really good strength. Second in bench press, third in 20-yard shuttle, second in 3-cone, third in broad jump. So we'll go ahead and take him. And he's 73 overall quick, ranked 57th. We drafted him at 70th. So our draft started out pretty good in the first round with Latch Lawton, 79 overall superstar cornerback, but it fell off pretty quick after that. Henry June is a 78 overall. We took him in the second round. Unfortunately, he is slow development. And Kerry Beckham is a 73 overall, I believe, with quick development. Yeah, he's got quick development. So he'll start, and hopefully we can get him up into the 80s by next year. Our linemen didn't really pan out the way I wanted them to. The wide receiver I wanted to take wasn't as good as I was hoping he was going to be, and none of my 7th round picks were there. So, not my best draft, but we did fill a much needed position with cornerback. So it looks like the Saints drafted that linebacker I was looking at, Barry Grove, in the first round with the 8th pick, and he's a 79 overall. And he has normal development, so overall I think we made a pretty good pick. I think we made the better pick of the two. And they also grabbed that right end I was looking at, Trip Petrus. He's a 78 overall, so with normal development, so I might have screwed that one up. We drafted our guy with 78 overall, slow development. And here's the pick I've really been waiting to see. This was the defensive tackle that I wanted, Jatavius Collier. He's a 76 overall, so we might have made the better pick here, or 79 overall corner. And he's only normal development, so yeah, I'm glad the Browns took him. After spending a bunch of XP, moving some guys around, here's what the team's looking like. Beginning of year 3, and this year I can actually say the team's looking quite a bit better. We've got our rookie Vernon in at left tackle. He's a 71 overall. I know Costanzo is rated better, but I think Vernon will be the better option at left tackle for long term. We got Muhort, Kelly, Schwenke, and Vasquez, who is now an 83 overall. On the line, we've got Lance Kendricks at tight end, Dante Moncrief at wide receiver number 2, T.Y. Hilton at wide receiver number 1, and Philip Dorsett in the slot with Kamar Aiken in at our wide receiver number 4. Our running back Roper is an 82 overall now, and Andrew Luck is now a 93 overall. And on defense, this is where the biggest change came in. Our strong safety, Zach Staten, went from a 76 overall to an 88 overall after he won Rookie of the Year. So a huge upgrade there. Malik Hooker's an 83 overall now. We've got Stith, who was, I believe, a 76 overall, is now an 81 overall. We've got Antonio Morrison. I always forget his name. Yeah, Antonio Morrison in a middle linebacker number 1, who's now an 82. Our rookie Beckham is a 73 overall, and at middle linebacker number 2, and John Simon an 81, the left outside linebacker. Line hasn't really changed very much. We've got June starting at right end, Jonathan Hankins in at DT, and then Anderson in at left end. And then with our corners, we have Vontae Davis, an 89 overall, with our number 1 corner, our rookie that we drafted, Lawton, a 79 overall. And then our nickel corner is Wilson, who is a 72 overall. So I do believe we're looking much better, and I think this could actually be a playoff team if Madden Sim allows it. We all know how the Madden Sim is. You never know what's going to happen. Well, I don't know what the deal is. Like I said, it's the Madden Sim. We're 1-6 at the midway point. What do you know? We didn't make the playoffs again. Who would have ever guessed? Oh, man. Right on. We were worse this year than we were the year before. 4-12, our worst record yet. And we have made significant improvements to the team with a worse record. Alright, let's check the stats really quick. 23rd offense and 32nd defense. That makes absolutely no sense. 26th in points scored. And okay, 33rd in points allowed. We were one worse than the worst. That is pretty good. Andrew Luck with 4,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, was sacked 52 times, less than last year. Roper kicked it into high gear and got 7 touchdowns total on the year with 1,024 yards. The backup has 175 yards with 7 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton had another really good year, led the team alongside Dante Moncrief with 84 receptions. T.Y. had 1,222 yards, 5 touchdowns. Dante Moncrief had 770 yards with 9 touchdowns. And Dorsett had 935 yards with 7 touchdowns. Our free agent pickup, Lance Kendricks, had 576 yards with only 1 touchdown. And so Sean Vernon led the team with 16 sacks, which is why we subbed him out at the end for Costanzo. I thought that was going to be a good move, but apparently not. He led the team in sacks and played half the amount of snaps as everyone else, so that says enough right there. Antonio Morrison with 156 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception. Our rookie Kerry Beckham with 131 tackles, 3 for loss, 1 interception as well. Zach Staten, our 88 overall strong safety, with 102 tackles and 2 interceptions. CJ Stith, 94, 2.5 sacks, 5 for loss, 1 interception as well. And then Henry June led the team with 7.5 sacks. We were just not getting pressure. That might be part of the problem. Henry Anderson had 4.5. John Simon had 4. And then Malik Hooker led the team with 3 interceptions alongside our rookie Latch Lawton, who also had 3 with 83 tackles. And Vontae Davis also had 3 with 79 tackles. Aaron Rodgers, for the 3rd year in a row, wins MVP. Never actually seen that happen before. Offensive Player of the Year, Le'Veon Bell. Defensive Player of the Year was Ryan Shazier. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Riley Sauer. We didn't have an offensive rookie. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Philip Woolfolk. Kerry Beckham came in 2nd, Henry June came in 3rd, and Latch Lawton came in 4th. Not bad. Best quarterback went to Riley Sauer. Best running back went to Le'Veon Bell. Best wideout went to Justin Hardy. And we weren't on there? I guess he only had like 7 touchdowns. Best offensive lineman. Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. Best defensive lineman. We didn't have anybody. Best linebacker. Ryan Shazier. And not sure how we weren't on there, but we were not. Best defensive back. No one. Best kicker went to Will Lutz. Matt Prater came in second. And we have a lot of guys to re-sign, and I think we've got some money to pay out. We're definitely going to want to sign Malik Hooker. He's not really asking for much, and he's still really young. John Simon, he's been pretty good for us. We'll go ahead, even though he's 28, we'll go ahead and re-sign him. Go ahead and advance to free agency. So I know we just re-signed John Simon, but it's really hard to pass up on a guy like Bud Dupree, at 93 overall. He's younger. I don't really know what to do here. Not interested in TJ Watt. Might be interested in Mario Edwards. We'll go ahead and give him an offer. Let's see. Bengals are offering him not much. So we'll go ahead and give him an offer. And if we need to, we'll just move him over to left end. So I've been working, trying to get Bud Dupree. It's just going to take way too much money. Something I can't really do. As much as I'd like to have the guy, John Simon's done really well for us, so I'm just going to have to withdraw my offer. I think we might continue our streak here with some old tight ends. We got Delaney Walker, and nobody has put in an offer for him, so we could probably get him for really cheap. We'll just shoot him a low ball offer. So all 3 of our free agents signed: Delaney Walker, Mario Edwards, and Dwayne Brown. So we're looking a lot better in some spots we weren't very good at last year. Hopefully we'll have less sacks. Hopefully with Mario Edwards we'll be able to get some more pressure, have some better D-line play. And then with Delaney Walker, hopefully he can get some more touchdowns. We got the 4th pick in this year's draft. And since this is the end of the 3rd year, start of the 4th year, I'm not really too concerned with the draft. We're not going to have time to really develop these guys. So I'm just going to kind of go through the first round, probably the 2nd round, and then just simulate the rest. We have Julian Killings, who looks to be really good outside linebacker. Really good. We also have Brian Atkins, who fell to the 2nd round. And he looks really good as well. And then the cornerback I'm really interested in is Brian McKay. I didn't have a really good combine, but A- press, B man, and B zone. He's looking really good. And he's a superstar. I think I gotta... I don't know, it's such a hard decision. I think I gotta take him. I think I gotta take Brian McKay. So I'm going with. Didn't have a great combine, but 79 superstar, ranked 7th. We took him at 4th. 89 speed, 84 man, 83 zone, 89 excel, 90 agility, 90 press, 66 catching. I had to go with him. He's a pretty good cornerback. I think we're just gonna grab this tight end, Marion Curry. Yeah, he's not looking that great, but I don't really have anybody else. 70 overall. We reached 95th in true talent. We took him at 36th. Oh well. The only other guy I was really interested in this draft was Julian Killings, a 79 overall outside linebacker, and he has normal development. Team at the start of year 4 I almost dare not say it, but it looks quite a bit better than our last year's team. I'm sure we're probably going to do worse. But we got Andrew Luck at a 93. Our running back broker is an 82. Nothing's really changed on offense. The only thing that has really changed is Delaney Walker and Dwayne Brown at left tackle and tight end. Yeah, everything else is really pretty much the same. On defense, we have Mario Edwards in at left end. We moved him to left end. Henry June is 79 overall. Latch Lawton is now an 83. Zach Staten's a 90. And Kerry Beckham is now a 77. So yeah, nothing's really changed too much. But I think the team is looking better. And I know, now that I've said it, it's probably not going to work out. Probably going to go 3-13 this year. We'll just progressively get worse. But these last 2 years, we're just going to kind of go through them pretty quick. I'm not going to stop at the mid-season mark or anything like that. We'll just go straight to the end of the season and see how we did. I shouldn't be surprised, but I kind of am. Didn't make the playoffs again. Nobody really regressed, so we might have actually done better. And we didn't. We're stuck at 4-12. We're stuck at like 5-11, 4-12. I don't really know. 28th total offense. 17th in defensive yards. 27th in points scored. And 22nd in points allowed. Andrew Luck, 4,150 yards, 33 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 59 sacks. Getting sacked a ton. Eluzi's Roper, 969 yards, 5 touchdowns. Not very good. T.Y. Hilton had another good year. 88 receptions, 1,156 yards, 9 touchdowns. Dante Moncrief didn't do that great. 771 yards, 6 touchdowns. Delaney Walker had 5 touchdowns, so that's better than what Kendricks did the year before. 503 yards. Let's see who led the team in sacks. Dwayne Brown. I'm not sure why we're getting killed off that left end like that, but we are. And Jorge Vasquez with 14. So we'll check out the yearly awards like always. Leonard Fournette won MVP. Haven't seen that one before. Offensive Player of the Year was Leonard Fournette. Defensive Player of the Year, Miles Jack. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Key Glover. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Rainey Carradine. I wouldn't expect. Yeah, Brian McKay came in 3rd, but he was the nickel, so kind of expect that. I'm curious to see. Andrew Luck came in 10th on Best Quarterback. Not even going to bother with running back. Best wide receiver. T.Y. Hilton came in at 5th. Best offensive line. I think we have the worst offensive line. Not a very good defensive line either. Best linebackers. We had nobody. Best DB, Casey Hayward. And then Latch Lawton came in at 5th. There's quite a few guys in this free agency that I'm interested in signing. The first being Michael Thomas. I'd also like to sign Jack Conklin. Sterling Shepard is also on here, and nobody else has offered him any money. Maybe we can get another steal. We were able to sign all 3 of those guys. We got Sterling Shepard, Michael Thomas, and Jack Conklin. So that should be a huge improvement to this team. So I think we've gotten quite a bit better at some of our weakest positions right there. I went ahead and let the computer do the draft. We actually ended up with a 79 overall left outside linebacker. And he's a superstar. So not a bad pick by the computer. This is what the team looks like at the start of the 5th and final season. This team looks terrible, absolutely awful. Could be the worst team ever. We'll probably go 0-16. We have Andrew Luck, 93 overall quarterback, Roper 84 running back, Michael Thomas, 92 wide receiver, Sterling Shepard, wide receiver number 2, and T.Y. Hilton at wide receiver number 3, Jack Conklin starting left tackle, Mewhort, Ryan Kelly. I hope it's Ryan Kelly. Yeah, it's Ryan Kelly. Schwenke and Vasquez on the line. We have our Felix James, who is a blocking tight end, 74 overall, so we did not get any better there. On the other side of the ball, defensive line's the same: Henry June, Jonathan Hankins, Mario Edwards. We have Vontae Davis at 85, Lash Lawton at 85, and Brian McKay at 85. Zach Staten still a 90. And we have Stith at an 86, Antonio Morrison at 84, Kerry Beckham at 79, and John Simon at an 81. Malik Hooker's up to an 87 now. And I have no faith in this team at all. I don't think we're going to do very well. Probably not make the playoffs. This could be the worst rebuild ever. I'm not really sure. We'll just see how it goes. Hey, we actually made the playoffs. So as you can see, we went 10-6. It's crazy that it took that much to actually make this a 10-6 team. We will go ahead and check out our stats really quick. 6th in offensive yards, that's a huge improvement. 14th in defensive yards, also a decent improvement. 9th in points scored. And 27th in points allowed, so not too good there. Andrew Luck had almost 5,000 yards, basically 5,000 yards. 33 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, was only sacked 38 times this time, so that's a huge improvement. Aluzi's Roper went for 1,176 yards, 13 touchdowns, and the backup Marlon Mack had 8 touchdowns. And receiving, Sterling Shepard. We had 3 guys with over 1,000 yards. Sterling Shepard had 1,129 with 111 receptions. He also had 7 touchdowns. Michael Thomas had 101 receptions for 1,501 yards and 11 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton had 99 receptions, 1,131 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Our new tight end had 503 yards and 3 touchdowns. We'll go ahead and run through the yearly awards real quick. Deshaun Watson won MVP. Andrew Luck came in 7th. Offensive Player of the Year was Deshaun Watson. Andrew Luck came in 4th. Defensive Player of the Year was Khalil Mack. Antonio Morrison came in 3rd. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I don't think we had one. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm not sure we had one either. Best quarterback went to Deshaun Watson. Andrew Luck came in 2nd. Best running back went to Le'Veon Bell. Best wide receiver went to DeAndre Hopkins. And Michael Thomas came in 2nd. So DeAndre Hopkins must have had an incredible year, historic year. Sterling Shepard came in 10th. Best offensive lineman went to Jack Conklin. Jack Mewhort came in 6th. Best defensive line, doesn't look like we've got anyone. Best linebacker went to CJ Mosley. CJ Stith came in 2nd. Best DB went to Chris Harris Jr. and Vontae Davis came in 9th. Best kicker went to Patrick Murray. Matt Prater came in 4th. Went ahead and spent everyone's XP, and there's going to be one change on the defense at left outside linebacker. Our rookie, Dre Calvin, Yeah, Drake Calvin will be starting over John Simon. He's now an 86 overall. He was a 79, and for somebody that didn't start the whole year, that's quite a bit of progress. And then other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. A couple guys went up a little bit, and that's about it. We'll go ahead and simulate this game, and I'm just happy to be in the playoffs right now with how this whole rebuild's gone. Can't really ask for much more, I guess. And I'm not going to get much more. We lost to the Ravens. So we lost 27-33. Did we lose this in overtime? I didn't even look. We did. We lost in overtime. So we were tied 27-27 and lost it in overtime. So I'm not really sure what to make of this rebuild. Usually, like if you make it into the playoffs, you kind of count that as a success. You took a really crappy team and put them in the playoffs. It took 5 years to put this team in the playoff. They lost in the wild card round. They got worse the third and fourth year than they were the first and second year. And finally it took some free agent signings to make this team a 10-6 team. You know, I'm hesitant to call it a success. I don't want to call it a success. I'm going to call it a fail. You'd think if you started out with a elite or almost elite quarterback, it would be really easy to rebuild the team, but for some reason this team just did not want to get going. It couldn't catch traction. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Like I always say in these videos, I really enjoy making them. I have a lot of fun doing this. I really enjoy rebuilding teams, whether it's a success or a total failure just like this one. I have a lot of fun doing these. So if you like the video, make sure to drop a like on it and leave a comment if you have any suggestions for me. Tell me about some Colts rebuilds you've done or some rebuilds in the past that you've had problems with as well. And go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button too. This will be one of my last Madden 17 videos, but I'm going to have Madden 18 content coming out regularly. Also make sure to follow my social media. I'll have that linked in the description down below. And with that said, thanks for watching. I'm out.